praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Kakodash, the blondest of the elders and the apostles of great millstone. Salutations to your brothers who's pushing the truth in the four corners, the highways and byways. Praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Kakodash. It's a brother Yashamari with another video. Basically exhortation, more like to a reminder to the body of Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai. Alright, Ephesians 5. Alright, read from verse 1. It says, "Be ye therefore followers of Yahweh power," right, "as dear children." Right, so first of all, just like our children are, with regards being humble, in humility, from time to time we must remind ourselves, to have that the stature, or the frame of mind as a child. Wherefore it beareth patience, meekness, humility. Alright. Not a strifeful spirit. None of this side. So it says in verse 2, it says, "And walk in love, as a Mashiach also hath loved us." Right? So, our Mashiach has loved us. Our Mashiach has loved us. Yahushai, when he was here, he bare patience, given also with the disciples. Right? When he said that, hey, how long more must I be with thee? For they to basically get certain things. Because, hey, basically Yahushai, alright, Yahushai, he exercised that patience, he succor us. Even right now he's succoring us, with this understanding, wisdom. Alright? Yahushai, remember, he also was the author and finisher of our faith. There was time, as much as Yahushai was an austere man, hey, he humbled himself too as a child. Alright? Going and reading back. Ephesians chapter 5 and verse 2. It says, "And walk in love, as a Mashiach also hath loved us, and hath given himself for us an offering and a sacrifice to Yahweh power, for a sweet smelling savor." Right? You see a sweet smelling savor, right? And a sweet smelling savor. You know what? Let me get up in the blue letter. Sweet smelling savor.
Strong's G 2175. Euodia.
Strong G 175. Alright, Euodia. It says a feminine noun. All right, a sweet smell, a fragrance. It says a fragrance of sweet smelling thing, incense, right? It says an odor or something sweet smelling. It says an odor of acquiescence. It says a satisfaction, a sweet odor, spoken of the smell of sacrifices and oblations, agreeable to the ancient notion that Yahweh power smells and is pleased with the odor of sacrifices. Metaph, it says a thing well pleasing to God. So, again, this is how we supposed to walk in the love of Yahweh Shai Mashiach. Our life being something pleasing to Yahweh power, right? Meaning the way how we carry ourselves, the way how we deal with each other. You understand? The way how we handle each other. Where it be in different matters, situation, considering each other, considering the outcome of dealing with each other in a certain way. You understand? And in all doing this, you had the mentality that, hey, humbling and being meek as a child. Right? So, it goes on, it says, but fornication and all uncleanness of covetousness, right? Let it not be once named among you as becoming saints. And that's the thing. With our life, our conversation and so on, we're not supposed to be, putting our lives in the jeopardy of being, of having certain, names tagged upon us, certain behaviors, certain, way, like for instance, adulterer, right? A thief, on a dishonest man, a disobedient man. You understand? A rioter, a debater, a scarner. All right, and these things. Right, verse 4. It says, neither filthiness, nor foolish talking, nor jesting. Now this is the thing, filthiness. I always make sure our conversation is with Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, and concerning the laws, the things of the law. Let it be fruitful, edifying, helpful to our brother. All right. It says nor foolish talking. You see from time to time, gimmicks, foolish talking. After time, there's men, like for instance, I give an example, like when we play domino, a man might not be, he mightn't be saying anything, but there's certain words, when it's being said, it is being recorded mentally. So when there's other situation arise, a man in his feeling, he basically, put the, he creates a whole scenario in his head whereby, the mentality becomes toxic. All right? To him. All right? So sometimes you might find your brother who's easily offended too. You understand? There's things he may mention, and that may be said unto him, later reveal that, he find it offensive, and it pierce him in the wrong way. All right? So reading back verse, so it says, neither filthiness, nor foolish talking, nor jesting, which are not convenient, but rather giving thanks. Alright? So yeah, so these things is not convenient because, you know, somewhere down the line, you know, before you know it, the damage already done. A man cannot handle, you know, a brother cannot handle a certain situation, you know, and it takes more time to heal or, no, the damage is more to heal than to avoid. You know, in other words, that, you know, it is better to not, you know, indulge in certain things, you know, that could be offensive to this man or to our brother, right? It's better not to indulge in them, you know, rather than to risk indulging in certain things and hoping that the, you know, the man or the brother hold, you know, a mentality, a masculine mentality, and later you find that, you know, yeah, you can't handle it. All right, you know. But anyway, I'm going to stop it there. You know, I hope this, you know, lesson was edifying to the elect. You know, they grasp something from it. You know, me how Bashmi Shai Bashmi Kakodash Brakatam. Double honest to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone, and salutations to the brothers that's pushing the truth in the four corners and the highways and byways. You know, again, our praises to Yahweh Bashmi Shai Bashmi Kakodash. Shalom.